Klay Thompson saw the writing on the wall ahead of his move away from the Golden State Warriors last offseason, having briefly been removed from the starting lineup for rookie guard Brandon Podziemski during his final months in the Bay Area. Thompson's longtime spot as Stephen Curry's backcourt partner was under threat, undoubtedly playing a role in Golden State's unwillingness to pay him big money and his subsequent departure to the Dallas Mavericks. But after starting in all 72 of his games with the Mavericks last season, the 5X All-Star could be on the brink of a similar nightmare as his starting role could again come under pressure. Klay Thompson could easily find himself a reserve next season. The Mavericks have a forward-heavy roster that now includes prize number 1 overall pick Cooper Flagg, potentially allowing head coach Jason Kidd to go with a jumbo-sized roster that excludes the Warrior legend. On a recent episode of the DLLS Mavs podcast, NBA insider Mark Stein outlined his belief that Flagg will start at some point alongside P.J. Washington at the 3, presumably with Anthony Davis and one of Derek Lively II or Daniel Gafford filling out the remaining front court spots. I do think that at some point that the starting lineup will be tested at some point with Cooper, Flagg at the 2 and P.J. Washington at the 3. I feel pretty strongly about that, Stein said. The chances of seeing this lineup just took an extra step on Wednesday when the Mavericks extended Washington on a 4-year, $90 million contract, removing any possibility of him being traded before or during the season. With D'Angelo Russell running the point until such time as Kyrie Irving returns from his ACL injury, Thompson would be left coming off the bench in a move that the 4X NBA champion is scarcely accustomed to. Prior to Thompson's move to the bench for 14 games in his last year as a Warrior, he hadn't been a reserve since way back in his rookie season of 2011-12. We saw his minutes decline to just over 27 minutes last season, lowest since rookie year. But it's going to be a bigger storyline if he's asked to come off the bench on a permanent basis. The 35-year-old's best opportunity would be to remain at the 2 guard and for Flagg to simply replace Washington in the starting lineup, yet those chances just took a hit given Dallas just recommitted to the 27-year-old on big money. It will certainly be an interesting element to follow entering next season, with Warrior fans still eager to see how the remaining years of Thompson's career play out following his gut-wrenching departure. We're just about 3 weeks away from the NBA training camp beginning. Despite how late in the offseason we are, the Golden State Warriors' offseason is far from complete, as they have just 9 players on their main roster. Much of the Warriors' offseason has been halted by the ongoing Jonathan Kuminga saga. The 22-year-old forward is in restricted free agency, and the two sides have been unable to agree to a deal. After a tumultuous 4-year relationship, many expect the two sides to part ways. However, nobody has cap space, and the Warriors have a high asking price in a sign-and-trade. With Kuminga unsigned, the Warriors don't know their exact financial situation, which has hindered them from making moves. Regardless, it's long been reported that they will sign veteran big man Al Horford and reunite with Gary Payton too. They have also been linked to veteran guard Malcolm Brogdon. In the second round of the playoffs, the Minnesota Timberwolves beat Golden State in 5 games. Yes, the Warriors didn't have Steph Curry, but after a 7-game series with a young but talented Houston Rockets squad and lack of frontcourt size, it's clear the Warriors are a notch below the elite teams in the West. After an uncertain offseason, the Warriors are clearly not contenders in a loaded Western Conference. Many teams, including the Wolves, are in a better spot than the Dubs. The Warriors need to sort out their roster ASAP. The Warriors must act fast. There's just over a month until the season starts, and having so much uncertainty at this point in the offseason is unprecedented. If they continue to wait, Horford could change his mind, especially if there ends up being less money available for him. Of course, sorting out the Kuminga fiasco is the top priority. That's easier said than done, and negotiations are tricky. However, after fellow restricted free agent Cam Thomas signed recently, there's some hope for the Warriors. Given how shaky their relationship has been, it's best for both sides to move on. There are plenty of teams interested in Kuminga, most notably the Sacramento Kings and Phoenix Suns. Even if the return isn't ideal, the Warriors should take what they can get for Kuminga and round out their roster from there. If they keep waiting, things will only get worse for the Warriors. The Wolves are clearly better than the Warriors. While the Wolves didn't make any major offseason moves, they brought back most of the core that just made back-to-back conference finals runs. With Anthony Edwards likely taking another leap at 24 and Julius Randle being fully integrated with the team, it's hard not to be optimistic about Minnesota. Sure, the Wolves aren't at the level of Oklahoma City, Houston, or Denver, but they're just a notch below them and clearly above the Warriors. The Wolves' blend of youth and experience perfectly equips them for a grueling 82-game season. Conversely, the Warriors have 3 starters 35 or older, for if they sign Horford. Older teams need more depth than the Warriors have. The Los Angeles Clippers offset some of the risks of an older roster with their incredible depth. However, if injuries arise for the Warriors, they could be in some real trouble. Minnesota has one of the most balanced rosters, ranking in the top 10 in both offense and defense last season. The Wolves also finished with a slightly better record than the Warriors. After an offseason of uncertainty and the Warriors' lack of depth, it's hard to argue they have a better team than the Wolves. Unless you are a Warriors fan, this offseason has been objectively hilarious and odd. The Houston Rockets have a 22-year-old guard who's already making his mark as one of the NBA's rising stars. Thompson earned an all-defensive first-team spot in just his second year, posting averages of 14.1 points, 8.2 rebounds, 3.8 assists, 1.4 steals, and 1.3 blocks per game on 55.7% shooting. And while the Golden State Warriors just got a first-hand look at his talent during a heated playoff series, Thompson has never exactly been a fan of the Bay Area dynasty. A homecoming against the Warriors. This past spring, Thompson got the chance to face his hometown team in the postseason. The Rockets pushed the Warriors to 7 games in the first round, a chippy, physical series that had all the makings of a new school rivalry. Thompson more than held his own, averaging 15.7 points, 6.9 rebounds, 3.3 assists, and 1.7 steals across 7 starts. Most impressively, he spent much of his time hounding Stephen Curry, the face of Golden State's dynasty, and didn't blink. For a Bay Area kid, it was a dream matchup. But don't mistake it for a sentimental homecoming. Thompson didn't grow up idolizing the Warriors. If anything, he carried a chip on his shoulder. Why Thompson hates the Warriors. On a recent appearance on The Young Man and the 3 podcast, Thompson explained where his distaste for Golden State came from. "I was a LeBron James fan, I'm not gonna lie," Thompson said. "I didn't dislike the Warriors. I actually liked the Warriors until they had to start playing LeBron. And then I'm like, okay, now I hate the Warriors." That confession puts him in line with a whole generation of NBA fans. During Golden State's run of 3 championships in 4 years, the league turned into a split screen. Warriors fans on one side, LeBron loyalists on the other. For Thompson, there was no middle ground. His admiration for LeBron meant Golden State had to be the enemy. A rivalry with hometown roots. It's a fascinating wrinkle. A player who grew up just miles from Oracle Arena chose LeBron over the Warriors. Now he's in the middle of writing his own rivalry with them on the floor. Golden State might not be the powerhouse it once was. But with Draymond Green and others still stirring the pot, the tension with Houston is real. Thompson's Bay Area background makes it even juicier. For Rockets fans, the takeaway is simple. They have a cornerstone guard who doesn't just want to compete. He wants to beat the team that dominated his childhood. For Warriors fans, Thompson has officially gone from hometown kid to hometown rival.